Hey guys, Mr. Burek here today. So, sorry you can't see my face here. I wanted to do a really detailed instructional video today on something that you guys can make at home. It's a tech project I've been working on most of the morning. I tested it. It works really good. Tons of fun, super easy to do. So today we are going to make a 3D hologram projector for your phone. So I'm going to show you how to make this really simple projector from household items, and then I'm going to point you to a video on YouTube, and you can create full 3D holograms on your smartphone or on your tablet. It was a ton of fun to play with. I found myself playing with it a little too long. It was so much fun. But the projects on YouTube, you needed graph paper and you needed CD cases and you needed razor blades and like all this crazy stuff. So I kind of reworked the project and I have it where you can make it out of household articles. So here's what you're going to need. You're going to need a smartphone or a tablet to do the projection. You're going to need a small piece of cardboard, shirt board. This is a piece from a tuna box. So this is what I had laying around. So you'll need that, just a small piece. You'll need a pen. You'll need either a ruler or a tape measure. I've got a tape measure. And it would also be helpful to have either a permanent black magic marker or a wax pencil or a crayon, because the problem is you got to be able to draw a shape on this plastic, and I found that a regular pen doesn't work very well. So maybe a black permanent marker, a crayon, a wax pencil, something. So, and then this was a salad top container that I had laying around the house, just clear plastic. So you'll need some kind of piece of plastic like this as well. And you will need a pair of scissors. So, and then you're also going to need some strips of tape. So you can use blue masking tape, you can use packing tape, really any tape that you have laying around the house. This is not going to matter. You just need to make sure you have a few small pieces of tape, maybe 4 pieces. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. So this one, we're going to create, the first thing we're going to do is we got to create this shape for our template. So I had to figure out like a crazy low-tech way to do this. So there might be an easier way. Maybe you can figure out an easier way, but this is the easiest way that I could figure how to make this. Okay, so you are going to need your ruler or your tape measure, and basically you're going to make a 2-inch square box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 2 inches. And you need the box to be relatively straight. So what I noticed is if you just try to spitball it like that, sometimes the sides are crooked. So what I did is I kind of lightly drew this freehand, and I kind of got it, you know, more or less kind of straight. So I kind of freehanded it a little bit, and then that kind of that set me up so I could make a nice straight line. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace back over that, but I'm gonna make it perfectly straight. So I'm gonna create a 2-inch line here, and I'm gonna create my 2-inch line here. Okay, so that's what you're gonna have right now, and then you're just gonna join the bottom together, and it's going to be 2 inches. Okay, so we're going to kind of line that up, make it nice and straight. Draw that across. Okay, so what you're left with is a 2x2x2x2 box. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do at the bottom of the box, you are going to measure, you need to find what the middle of this is. So half of 2 inches is 1 inch. So I'm going to come in 1 inch and I'm going to make a mark. So if you go in 1 inch and you make a mark, that's exactly the center. Okay? Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to draw, and I'll show you this when I'm done. So you're going to go from the upper corner down to that mark you made. Okay, so okay, and then you're going to do the same thing on this side. And again, I'm going to show you this when I'm done. Okay, so you're going to go from this middle mark up to the corner, and you're going to go the middle mark up to the corner. Okay, so that'll kind of get you that V. Okay, now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go up 1 inch. Again, I'll show you this. You're going to go up 1 inch and make a mark. So essentially what you're going to do is you go 1 inch up from the bottom and you make a mark. And then you want to draw a nice straight line. Try to get it straight if you can. It's pretty important. Okay, and then you're going to draw that line. You're going to come up 1 inch and you're going to draw a line. Now, what we're going to do is I'll show you the part we're going to cut out. So I'm going to shade out the parts that I'm going to cut. Okay, so I'm going to cut all of these. I'm going to cut this. Okay, and again, I'll show you when I cut it, but that's how you're gonna do that. And just let me peek at the camera here and make sure that I've got everything in frame so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cut that out. Now, so we're going to cut it down. We're going to cut it down, and then you're going to go over, and then you're going to cut it across the top. Okay, so here's what we got. Basically, you've cut that shape out. Okay, and again, just let me peek at the camera here and make sure we got everything in frame. Yep, okay, good. So that's what you're going to do right there. Now, this is going to be our template. Okay, so you can clear off all the other cardboard, clear off everything on your work surface. Okay, next, you're going to take whatever piece of plastic that you found. It does have to be clear. It can't be colored or opaque. It's got to be transparent. And you'll notice I've got a ridge on mine, so I need to cut out this nice flat piece. So I'm going to do that here real quick because it'll just make it easier to work with. So I'm just going to chop this up. Also be careful sometimes when you cut this plastic. I don't know that the edges could be sharp enough to cut you. I don't think they would be, but just exercise some caution. Just be a little bit careful there. You don't want to cut yourself on the plastic. I'm going to come down here. I promise you guys, this project is so worthwhile because it is so fun. When you start watching the holograms, it is an absolute blast. I messed with it for probably a half an hour. I thought it was so much fun. Okay, so what we're left with is a piece of clear plastic. Now, what you got to do is we got to get four pieces out of this. So just be careful because you need to make sure you have 4. I'll trace them and then I'll show you what I mean. So, I'm going to use, let me think, just because I think it'll show up on camera better, I think what I'm going to do is use a black magic marker. This is a black permanent marker. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace 4 of these. So that's going to be okay, there's 1. And here's 2 coming up. 2. 2. Whoops. 2, 3. Oh. And you want these to be as straight as you can make them. This does not have to be perfect, but the more accurate you get it, the nicer the project's going to be in the end, and the better the hologram will be. Okay, I'm going to make this 4th one here. Okay. You know, guys, again, there's better ways to do this, but I had to figure out a way where you guys could just kind of poke around your house for 10 minutes and kind of gather up enough materials to do the project. So we had to kind of adapt this. Okay. So what you're left with is you're going to have 4 of these on your clear piece of plastic, and then you're going to proceed to cut all 4 of those out. Now again, take your time with this because you want them as straight and as nice and as neat as you can get them. You don't have to stress about it, but just do your best to get everything reasonably straight. Okay, so that's what your first one's going to look like. Let me maybe try to get a background on it so you can kind of see it a little bit better. I don't know if that'll maybe show up a little bit better on the camera, but that's what that first one's going to look like. So you're going to proceed to cut out the other 3. Okay. Here comes the second one. There's 2. And three. And we got 1 more. Now when I go to demonstrate this, I can't get it perfectly dark in the room, but I can get it dark enough where you're definitely going to be able to see the hologram, or at least hopefully be able to see it. Okay, so now what you should have is you should have 4 pieces See if those are showing up on camera. They are. So you're going to have 4 pieces of plastic. Now, here's the part that's just a little bit tricky. You got to put these together. So let's see if I can explain this. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this first one, and you have to kind of put the tape on roughly half of it and kind of press that down. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like with, let me see here. There we go. So that's how it's going to look with the tape. Okay, so, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take this second one and you're going to press it, you're going to put it about like that. Okay, make sure that that's showing up on the camera. Let's see here. There we go. So that's what that's going to look like. And then what that's going to allow you to do is bend this. Now, you don't have to cut, there's this little flap of extra tape. You don't have to cut it off. I'm going to cut it off. I like to be neat. So I took that little piece off and I cut it. And then what that gives me is this. Okay? So that's 2 of them. Now, you're going to take the next one and you're going to do essentially the same thing. So let's take another piece of tape that we've cut. I'm going to put it on about half of that, roughly. Okay. So it's going to kind of look like this. Okay. And then we're going to take the next one like this and we're going to put it right about there ish. And we're going to fold that one over. Again, I'm going to cut that little piece of plastic off. And you know, it might take you 2 attempts to get this right. Maybe you can do it right out of the gate the first shot. Maybe you need to make a second one. It's okay. Okay, now actually I'm going to trim that a little bit more. There we go. Trim this in a little bit more. Again, you don't have to do this, just that I kind of feel compelled to, so I'm going to just go ahead and trim that off. All right, so now we've got 3, and now we're going to put that final piece on. So what I did when I did my original prototype, I put it on that side, and then I put it on this side. Okay, so what you end up with is tape that's like that. Again, let me make sure it's all in frame good. Okay, so then what I did was I took my final piece and I kind of put it on there. Okay, like that. Fold that over. Cut that off. I think out of all the projects that I've done so far, I think this is my favorite. It was just so much fun to do. Okay, so then you've got all the corners, and then you're just going to join this like this. You're going to join it together. Okay. Okay, gonna trim that off of there. Okay, so what you're left with, let me make sure, try to get, and you want to try to get it to set nice and straight and flush, so I did. So let me check the camera view, make sure that we got, yep, so we got a nice view of that. Okay, so this little simple thing is actually the hologram projector assembly. Okay, so now let's talk about the video that we use to create the holograms. So I downloaded this. So what we have is it is called, let's see, 3D hologram video for smartphone tablet pyramid. So what I did is I just got on YouTube and I typed in 3D hologram video, okay? And I don't know if you guys, how well you guys are going to be able to see this, but I typed in 3D hologram video and I chose that video. So what I'm going to do, okay, this might get a little shaky here. I'm going to pull the shade down on the window. I'm going to try to get this thing moving, and let's see how our projector works. Let's see here. Okay, so what it actually comes up as when I clicked on it was Hologram Project by Kiste or Kiste, K-I-S-T-E. Let me get that in the frame if I can. So that's the exact video that I used. And there's others on YouTube. You can look at other ones as well. But I just thought this one was really super, it was really, really good. Had all kind of cool images. So we're going to take this video and try to get that full screen. I'm going to pull the shade down here. Okay. And then get this going here. Okay, so. And let me see if I can make this work for our camera here. So you can actually see the hologram. There we go. There's the hologram right there. Hold on. There we go. And again, we're operating in kind of a pretty light room, so these holograms get better. There we go. Wait a minute. There's a 3D shark, hologram shark floating around. Again, my video doesn't do this justice because when you actually see this in action, it is like crazy, super cool. It's way better. The jellyfish is one of my favorites. There we go. So it's best to view this, obviously, in a really, really dark room. There's some fire burning. And we've got, there's a fish. But you guys get the idea. So this video is, I don't know, 15-20 minutes long, but it's all 3D holograms. There's that jellyfish. I love that jellyfish. So, I would encourage you guys to give this video a shot. Again, it is absolutely beautiful in a dark room. So please give this video a try, guys, and then we'll talk about it on our Wednesday phone call. I'm online from 10:30 to 11 a.m. I'd love to see what you came up with. You can actually make this a lot bigger. You can scale it to any size you like. So if you've got a tablet, you could even make a bigger one and have a larger hologram. So give this a try, guys. Let me know what you think. until I do another video, I'll see you guys later. Take care.